Did you ever realize you did awful things as a teenager? The regret over it passes through my head weekly, and I am pushing 50. The amount of people I hurt in the name of fun and selfishness is maddening. I realize it and am too embarrassed to go into details on this public forum. I used to throw rocks at cars. I was an idiot. Absolutely. I was a very angry teenager because I was hurting a lot due to ongoing issues with my mother. While it was happening, no, and I was an absolute dick to anyone who wasn't family or a close friend. I was raised in a very rough neighborhood where that sort of thing is just commonplace. I still feel like it isn't an excuse. As I've gotten older, I've become very kind and empathetic, at least I think so. I wasn't just a tool, I was a toolbox. I thought I knew everything, I knew better, and I knew how to do it best. I realized this while in college when I was wondering why I didn't have any friends at the time. I guess I was too much of a coward to do truly terrible things to people and things as a teenager. But I still did remarkably dumb things, like filling a payphone with ketchup that a friend stole from a nearby store. I emotionally hurt a friend that always liked me because I needed a rebound. That one will stick with me for life. I hope my daughter never meets someone like teenage me. I participated in talking shit about some teachers with my friends. They weren't even bad teachers, just uncool ones who were just doing their jobs. Making fun of them behind their backs was just the fun thing to do. I look back on it now and cringe. I was a teacher for a few years and am sure some students had similar shit-talking sessions about me lol. I did a lot of stupid shit, but I wasn't an awful person. I didn't pick on anyone or say mean stuff to people. I just did more than my fair share of really dumb shit, and I realize how lucky I am to not have any permanent damage from it. I was awful to my high school college girlfriend, and I thank God for both of us. I broke up with her before we could get married from inertia. I think about it and regret all the time. I was a bully, but sometimes I could say reckless shit. I remember calling my classmate a whore because she had already had a boyfriend at 8th grade, and I called another guy a poorfag because he was, well, poor. I never realized all of that until I suddenly remembered it many years later. I wonder how shitty that guy felt. I don't know where he is, but I hope he's much richer than me. As for my classmate, I hope she has a nice family. I did terrible things I won't even mention here. As I grew up and learned about forgiveness, it made me realize that some of the anger I was holding onto was unjustified because I was just as guilty as the other person. It would be nice to be able to express that to that person. Yes, I sometimes wonder how the F did I survive those stuff. I never did anything truly terrible, but I remember one incident in 4th grade, coming in from recess, him holding the door for the class and the unpopular girl in class is last in line. Instead of holding the door open for her, I let it go and jumped in front of her. I had nothing against her personally, there was no conscious thought behind it, I just didn't. She told the teacher on me and I lied about it, some BS like I didn't see her. But I saw her and I did it intentionally. I am 42 years old. This was in 4th grade in 1991 or 1992. I still remember it and I still feel awful about it. I thought I did bad things as a teenager, but I realized later that I was a totally tame kid. I really regret all the times I acted bitchy or made fun of people in high school. Looking back, I was miserable and probably was taking it out on people who didn't deserve it. When my depression got very bad, I stopped. I could never imagine hurting anyone's feeling now. I couldn't do a Thai message to few people in the past that have Facebook apologizing, but I still hate that I was like that. One day when me and some friends were drunk, we were wandering around our neighborhood and someone had the idea to pop tires. We got carried away and a particular car called our attention. We decided to pop 3 of its tires. I'm not proud of it, but at the moment it was so funny. The next day we got so scared that we didn't leave our house for 2 days and never wore the same clothes. At the risk of sounding self-involved, ironically a teenage trait, I'm more shocked at how awful I was to myself, and generally how awful my friends were to themselves. It was kind of accepted when I was a teenager that we would just hate ourselves. Absolutely, I lacked empathy and was selfish. I was rude to others and didn't really respect my friends. I thought it made me cool or tough to be antisocial. Honestly though, out of all the things I feel bad about, the worst was the way I drove. My friends and I would street race each other on freeways and through neighborhoods in our cars. Looking back, it was extremely selfish. I could have easily hurt or killed somebody else and ruined a lot of lives in the process. Now that I'm a father and I see people driving fast and weaving cars on the freeway, it makes my blood boil that someone would risk everyone's lives just for fun.